All right, we're back in action. How's it going, son?
I am exhausted, my friend. I just got off a red eye last night and got a little bit of sleep to make it through for work this morning.
And jet lag like a mofo.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, Chuck took the red eye from Vegas at midnight the other night. And we got into Sudbury about 9:30 in the morning. And you know those red eyes sitting up like that?
Yeah.
You're not getting sleep.
You're getting zero sleep.
But here am I with these first world problems. Holy smokes.
So, okay. Now, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Like, everyone knows that that's a saying.
Yeah.
But that doesn't apply to podcasts. So well, you know what? Like, the PG version, Vegas is different.
Vegas is different from what I'm told. Yeah, because this is my second time in Vegas, and last year was my first time in Vegas.
Right.
So I bet you it is.
And so I've been to Vegas 3 times, and over a way longer span, right?
Yeah.
You know, with Diane, with my parents, with my brother and my dad, right? So, and on those times we went for entertainment. Mind you, my dad goes to gamble because he gambles like a bastard.
Does he?
Imagine that. But it's also a city of entertainment, and it's even moved more so in that direction. Did you do any of or did you just gamble, or like?
I think I got a pretty decent balance. Like, for me, I'm a pretty conservative gambler when it comes to like games like that of chance, and,
Yeah.
and well, I guess all gambling is games of chance to some degree. Didn't hit any like slot machines. If you know me, I hate slot machines.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I just don't see the fun in clicking like that.
Agreed.
I get much more of a spike playing blackjack or poker.
And getting on a run.
Getting on a run and having that table vibe and just kind of the energy that's like people are winning, people are losing,
Yeah.
and just that dynamic. I that's what I like gambling for most. So yeah, I did a little bit of blackjack. I didn't say I did too well, but my dad actually did a pretty decent amount. You know those little side games in blackjack that people never play because they never pay out?
Yeah.
He was killing that. There was a
Really?
couple times he was like, "Oh, another $500. Oh, another $500." Like, he was
Really?
he
Like
was-
the Pairs Plus and
Pairs
stuff like
Plus and like the special house games like that on the
Yeah.
tables. Yeah, he did pretty good on that. I would say I probably broke even on blackjack, which in Vegas is a win.
Yeah.
To break even at any game.
Yeah.
We went to the Red Rock Hotel, which is owned by the former UFC owners, the Fertitta brothers.
Yeah.
So that was kind of one of the things I wanted to do, was hit that up. We did poker there one night, and I cashed out a couple $100. Nothing too crazy, but enough for me to get excited about the night.
Like Texas Hold'em.
Texas Hold'em, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Joined the cash game, the 1-3 out there.
Yeah.
And then
Now, is it an aggressive 1-3? Like, you know what I mean? You can buy in for, what do you got to go in for? Max, like 300 or 500?
yeah, it's 1 to 3. It's a 1 minimum, 3 max.
Yeah.
I found like right off the bat, you identify the players that are donkeys and identify the ones that aren't, just like any poker table.
Yeah.
So once you find those trends, it's fine. I didn't find it too overwhelming, especially having played enough house games, locally, that I know that there's probably nothing I haven't seen at a poker table at this point.
Right.
So yeah, there was no surprises in that regard. I guess the aura is a little bit different because everybody's wearing suits or dressed much more nicely than maybe a house game
Than here
on the island. So yeah, for that I was a little bit out of water in that regard, but at the same time I still came out pretty on top, in which I think that added to my level of game, where it's hard to read somebody who may look the way I look.
Yeah,
and
fit the bill. Yeah,
doesn't fit the bill at the poker table. But yeah, we came out on top in there. And then the final, piece of the cake was on the last day. By this day, we're 6 days in Vegas. Me and Chucky kind of were just waiting for our plane. Like, what do? We don't really want to go anywhere. Got kicked out of our room because we had to check out. So we just sat in the sports room and watched sports, and the Senators were playing the Capitals. And I put all my money that I had made in Vegas on the Sens to win, because it was like a big go home or happy
shut
or
up
sad.
or go home. Yeah.
Yeah. And that game, the Sens trailed by a goal for the entire game up to the third period. They pushed it to overtime and won in overtime.
And that was your bet.
And that was my bet.
Oh, nice.
Just the money line hit.
That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So I was celebrating after that. So that was my gambling history in Vegas. We definitely did some shows there as well. The first day I was there, Chucky was there for like his AGM for work, I guess.
Right. So they had stuff to do every day, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So he's working there the whole week, and so the first day I set up one of those tours that go to the different MMA and boxing gyms in Vegas.
Okay.
Shout out to Vegas Fight Tours. Sorry. And I didn't really know what to expect other than like just a couple of pictures on their website. But I show up to the Vegas Fight Shop, one of the local malls down there on the Strip, and meet the tour guide, Chris. And I'm like, a little bit early. So I'm like, okay, what time does everybody show up? And when are we going? How are we getting there? He's like, it's just you and me, dude.
Oh, really?
So I got a private tour
of all of those fight clubs.
MMA Couture to, I forget the Real Deal Boxing and Floyd Mayweather's private gym.
Wow.
In Vegas. And just me and the tour guide.
What did that cost?
It was like 187 Canadian.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a great value for entertainment.
So we left the mall at about just before 10:30, 11, and we went straight to Randy Couture's gym. And the lady at the front desk kind of greets everybody, good energy. Everybody, me and Chris. Says, you guys have picked a pretty good day. Like, there's some big names in there, or there's some practices going on right now. Sean's here, and
like Sean Strickland.
Well, she just said Sean. She goes, Sean's here, Sterling's here. Just kind of naming some names, and I'm like, okay, I'm hoping. I think I recognize those names. And then you first get into the gym. There's people like working out on the gym equipment, and then there's like a little jiu-jitsu mat. But it's got pictures of all the UFCs that Randy Couture fought in and headlined across the gym. And that alone was like, we are in history right now. Yeah. So the guy's going through, giving me a little bit of a spiel on the tour. This is Randy's office. And then it had a big canvas on the wall, kind of like how we would hang a bear on the wall. There was a canvas from UFC, I think it was 68, that Randy had fought at in headline. And it's just got blood stains everywhere and like... from the fight, it's like super, super cool. And so I thought that was kind of all the gym was, but then we turn a corner and there's 2 octagons, and then another part of the jiu-jitsu mats, and people are running drills, and they're like running hard drills too. So I'm looking through all the cage and what's going on, and sure enough, the first person we meet was Sean Strickland.
Wow, that's exciting.
Champ Sean Strickland, who we'd gone down to Toronto like in January to go watch his fight at the Scotiabank Center, and he's like right there, closer than me and you away. Like, hey, what's up, Sean? Like,
really, eh?
Sean in the flesh.
That's cool.
Went to his locker, got a tour of like who trains there. Francis Ngannou was there just a few weeks before training for his fight against Anthony Joshua. That's his local gym. Dan Ige was there. Yeah, man. Aljamain Sterling was there. We got a picture with him, and then just the coaches that were there as well. Like the names that you see going to the octagon on a weekly basis with these fighters are in the gym, and those are the coolest guys I found that came up, gave me the time of day, dapped me up, had a conversation, took pictures. Ray Frazier was there, one of the oldest names in coaching MMA and boxing. Is he's in the video games as one of the coaches of the Vegas fighters, just a staple. So just a highlight, and then we transitioned from there because I could have sat there and watched them train all day, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, Chris is like, "Okay, we're here longer because it's just you, but like, we should probably keep going, move it along, right?" We went to the Real Deal Boxing, and I'm not the biggest boxing aficionado. Like, I don't know a whole lot of the boxing world other than like your surface level big names. But then we went to the Team Mayweather gym. Like, the energy is between the two gyms, it was so different because the Real Deal Boxing was like very intense and very like, there's a lot of family, like people watching the gym, like people watching people fight, and it was almost like more of like a relaxed intensity. Whereas when we went to Mayweather, it was a private intensity. Like, there were people that were just sparring these 10-round boxing,
like fighting.
They were actually like beating the crap out of each other watching. And I got a private show on the canvas, like watching these guys, spit and sweat
Wow.
hitting
Yeah.
these guys that are like training for a fight coming up, and then you have like the Mayweather family kind of there. Floyd wasn't there or anything like that, but it was like these guys that are like with him every day and working hard and putting in rounds. So that alone was worth the 187
for
or whatever.
For a fight fan, you're not going to get more value.
I
than
couldn't
that.
believe the value that I got out of that, especially with the guys that I had met, like Aljamain Sterling being so cool to like take a picture with me. I didn't want to bother Sean for a picture because he was just in between sparring. He just ran to his locker to get something. But just having that experience and being in that atmosphere is, dude, any fight fan needs to go to the Vegas Fight Tour.
Wow.
If they go to Vegas.
And I found when we were there, you organize your day. Well, if you don't, you'll go broke, right? If you want to go there to gamble, right? You can't sit. You can't sit at slot machines. You can't sit at those, the games of chance other than blackjack. And even if you do, you got to know what you're doing if you're going to try and actually make any money there, right? Or break even. So you do have to plan your day around some big event. You relax or you work out, you know what I mean? You hit the pool and whatever, and then do your midday run to, the Hoover Dam or whatever tour you're going to go on.
And then save the gambling for the evening.
And then save the gambling for that evening entertainment, or vice versa. You know what I mean? Where you're flipping either or. Yeah. When we went down, we would always time it around this motocross race, right? Which was a big purse race. When we followed and when we raced motocross with Ricky Carmichael and Bubba Stewart, Chad Reed, all these big names that would go down and they'd race in the MGM in the stadium inside, right? So they'd set up an arena cross in there and then they'd go out into the parking lot because that's where the course was, and you would watch on the video screen, watch them go out. And then they'd come flying back in and, race the track inside. And then the big long stretches, right, were on the outside. Yeah. So we've organized our trips around that big race in Vegas because it was $1 million for the winner. Oh, really? It had nothing to do with the series championship. It was just a per purse race. Yeah. So, and that was our big thing. We were race fans. You get to go down to the walk the track, you do all that, go to the pits, check all that stuff out, and it's so personal. Yeah, right. It feels like you're right in the mix. It was just for a fight fan or for a race fan, it's cool. Yeah, to have those activities is totally necessary because the one day we did spend a long time in the casino, and you could just easily see that how quickly you can you go up or down. Yeah, well, and you lose track of time in there because there's no windows. They pump. I don't know if it's oxygen or if the air conditioning is jacked with. I feel like they pump oxygen. They have to because you feel like it's 4 a.m. and you're just wide awake. Wide awake. And it's like, I didn't have any coffee, you know what I mean? An hour ago, you're wide awake. Mind you, I feel like a lot of that has to do with the adrenaline that you're experiencing while you're playing at the same time. But they definitely, you can't be at the casino too long. Okay, so you hit up the fight scene. Any other? You taking any shows or? Not necessarily any shows. Like Castle organized a ton of like entertainment throughout the week. So in the evenings, Chucky would have. Chucky's my dad. Chucky would. There'd be a dinner or bring me to a dinner, and they'd have like Circus Olay in the background. It was like an Eyes Wide Shut gala all week that we'd go to. And then they'd organize like trips to the Strip, and we even went to Old Vegas, like on Fremont Street. Yeah, that was my first time being there. Yeah, what a circus that place is! Oh my god! And it's outdoor. You're outdoors, but you're indoors. Yeah, because there's like a dome that covers it, and there's zip line going like above your head, and then obviously bars and lights everything. And a light show and a whole film going on. And then these permitted actors that you have a little circle on the pavement that you're allowed to perform into. Yeah, the buskers, and like those entertainers were like unreal. Yeah, they're watch them all day. So talented. You watch them all day. Yeah. And like I was surprised that like 2 a.m. down there. There's nudity on that strip, and there's kids walking with their parents down there at like 2 a.m. Yeah, it's Vegas. Yeah, incredible. The strip itself is cool. I mean, what was a Treasure Island? Like, there's that whole show that's every evening. There's a monstrosity of a fight between good and evil on the ship, on the street. So it doesn't cost you to watch this this show. there's just all kinds of that type of entertainment happening every minute of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you go out of Vegas at all? Like, did they organize any trips like to Hoover Dam? Or
So
to the Grand
on
Canyon?
the Friday, there was an optional trip to, you can either do like a food tasting test around Vegas. It was kind of like their free day to do stuff. So there's a food tasting tour. There was a spa day. There was a Jeep tour that would take you out into the desert, and you can ride Jeeps for the day. But we decided to go golf at TPC Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
The PGA grade course down there.
Yes.
So we woke up early in the morning to get ready for golf, and I bet you it was probably 8 degrees when we teed off.
And then by lunch?
It was 12 degrees maybe.
Really?
It was cold the whole day, and the reason is because it was like 45-kilometer winds
Okay.
throughout the day, which, I'm not going to complain. I'm in Vegas and I'm golfing at the PGA Golf Club. But they organized the big tournament that day. And everybody's in their sweaters and their hoodies in Vegas, which is totally weird to see. Canadians, too. The whole group was Canadians. We're all wearing sweaters. It started off a little chilly at first, but then once we got to know the guys that we were paired with, who were Ottawa Senators fans.
Oh, great.
Perfect
how
match.
Bad luck can you
What
get?
an perfect match made in heaven. Shout out to Patrick and Jen. Pat works at Ideal Roofing. I'm going to be an ideal roofer for the rest of my life at this point. They're great guys to hang out with. They just blast on the golf course. And then on the last hole that we were playing, we were like 2 over playing scramble. And Pat ends up chipping in eagle to make us even on the day.
Right.
So not only do we get to play a PGA golf course, we get to say we part of the PGA golf course.
Okay. took 4 of you, but yeah, no, I'd take it. I'll take it.
Yeah. So, I'm not going to lose the caveat when I say that.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm going to
for
say
sure.
a part of the PGA golf course.
Yeah. No, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then just those little minute things of just like these little interactions with Chucky throughout the casino and kind of bonding with him throughout the week. Ate like kings the entire time.
Yeah.
Like
So no
10 out of
carnivore.
10.
It's carnivore's out the window.
carnivore was out the window. Any diet at any point, no paleo, like everything was out the window.
Yeah.
The last week. So this week I'm rebounding really hard and sticking to the protein.
That's why
shakes.
we're working out after the podcast.
That's why we're working out in the basement tonight.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, the thing about the oxygen, they say they don't pump it into those casinos, but I remember when my brother and I went down, and the first night, I don't know where he went. He doesn't know where I went. We all went our separate ways. We all convened back at the hotel in the morning. Every suitcase was still closed, zip shut, because we knew that the first morning we were going to the Petty Raceway or the Vegas Motor Speedway for that Petty racing, right? And we drove those NASCARs, right? And
that was you, your brother,
and my
your
dad. My dad didn't drive. He went, which surprised me that he got in on a ride along with the pro.
And you got to get in through the window. You said
Got to get in through the window, so we buttered him up like with about a pound of butter and squeezed him through that window. And they stuck him up at the wall at 168 miles an hour. I don't know how he survived that, but we did that as well. And then we drove the cars, and just, you want to talk about an adrenaline rush. It felt like I was on that rush for 3 days. Like, it seemed like it just, I never got tired after that. It was just crazy, right? Whether it was the oxygen in them, whatever, but I don't know. That was pretty cool. Now, another time that we did go, of course, we did the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
And we also did the Hoover Dam.
So I've been to Vegas twice and still haven't done that. So that's still something that motivates me to go back to Vegas. So tell me a little bit about that. Did you take the helicopter tour? Did you do the skywalk?
Yeah, we did the helicopter. We did a helicopter one. We did the... and Diane and I did that earlier, where we actually mountain biked in and around those parks there back in our super fit days. And we did the Hoover Dam tour, which, in itself, if you like that kind of that thing, it's it is an awesome, experience, because you're just looking around. The perspective you get from going to the Grand Canyon, right, helps you realize, and for me anyway, that how insignificant our day-to-day problems are. Like, it's just the grandioseness of that place where it was I liken it to obviously Colorado last fall, where it just doesn't look real. Like it's so deceiving for your brain to take in that much data, and to be awestruck by the visual, right? So I definitely think in your travels you definitely work that in. Another thing that I would like to do when I go to Vegas is go check out the pawn shops, but also go check out the shooting ranges.
Yeah.
Right, where you can shoot 50 cals. You can just have at it. It's Vegas. That's all legal there. Guns that I'll never ever get to shoot. That would be something that I would want to. I'd want to try and pick some of those that weaponry up.
Oh man, yeah. I was looking at some of the things that they had there. Like, you can like operate a tank and crush a car. Like, it's depends on what you want to pay is what you can shoot and do. And you can literally do almost anything in Vegas, and like, there's a price tag on it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'd be down to do something like that. Now that UFC, there was a UFC there, but you didn't go to that. Now the seats were crazy expensive because it was not private, but what's that fight complex there?
The UFC Institute, like their Performance Institute.
Right, and there was a UFC last week.
So there was a card there, and I was really like hoping to hit it big early in the week to be able to go, because tickets were $1,700 US to get in the door.
It's 25 Canadian.
Yeah. So and it's only like 200 people in the venue, but
you want to go with somebody who's just as excited.
Yeah, exactly. And like, would have been cool. It's all you can eat, all you can drink. The card was, I wasn't super excited to. 4 of them
were overweight.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it wasn't something I was too bummed out about not being able to go to. But it would be super cool to do that for the right card one day.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's a bunch of advertising for UFC 300, which is this weekend.
That's a card
coming up there too.
Yeah. So in terms of that, some of those big fights in the UFC, what are your picks this weekend?
For the big fights this weekend, we got, there's 3 of the main fights that I'm really looking forward to, and that's the last 3 fights on the card, which is Alex Pereira's fighting Jamal Hill for the light heavyweight belt. Jamal Hill is just coming back from an injury. He had to vacate his belt, and then when they were fighting for that vacant belt, Pereira had won that by beating, I believe it was Jan Blachowicz, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So Pereira's undefeated in that weight class, and I don't know, man. It's hard.
You know what? When a fighter comes back from an injury, just like in any sport, you don't know, right?
You don't know.
And when they're coming back, when they're coming back and it's their first kind of test, right? It's like, are they coming back early, or do they get injured in the training camp? You just don't know, right? So it is one of those bets where it's like, man, if I'm putting on a money line, I'm putting it on Pereira, right? That's where I'm going to bet. Now the second fight, which is the BMF fight.
So the second fight is the female, what is it? Bantamweight fight?
Or bantamweight.
Bantamweight fight. Strawweight fight, sorry. Zheng Wei Li. And I forget the other lady. Yan Xiaonan.
Yan X, we're calling her.
Yeah, Yan
I can't
X.
pronounce her last
Yan
name.
X, it's hard to pronounce. They're fighting in Wei Li all day. I don't even need to go into any detail. Wei Li.
She's just a monster.
Don't you never bet against.
Yeah.
Unless she's fighting Thug Rose.
Unless it's Rose. Yeah,
Thug Rose.
I agree.
And then the BMF belt.
Yeah.
Which is the one I'm looking forward to most.
Yeah.
Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway. 2 of my favorite fighters. Going to be an absolute slugfest. I got to give it to Gaethje, though.
Yeah, I'm taking Gaethje.
That size advantage, I don't know if you can overcome that.
If it were measuring heart, yeah, you know what I mean? You'd give it to Holloway. But it's sometimes it's more than that. And freaking Gaethje is just he's a force, right? And Holloway's dude's getting up there.
Gaethje's older.
Oh man, he just seems like he's been around for long.
I know. Fighting Connor on the come up. Like, he was in the UFC, I think, at like 17, 18.
Yeah,
Maybe not 17.
Yes. 18,
19, yeah.
Yeah. I still take Gaethje though. I'll still take Gaethje.
Holloway's never been knocked down before.
Who did he fight last? The last one was...
I believe it was Korean Zombie, and he pieced him up.
I still got to take Gaethje. That's who I would be Pereira, Gaethje, and Jingwei. Yeah, those would be... That's where the money line for me would be, for sure.
I think so too.
Yeah, so we'll be watching that this weekend. Maybe playing some cards. You know what? Another thing that's happening this weekend is the OHL draft, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Friday. So we've got a youngster involved in that. Someone that we know. We took him to one of the Oilers and Leafs games there last week. That's Cohen Ishkok, so a good friend of ours, Kevin. His son Cohen played for the Rangers at AAA in Toronto, in the Greater Toronto Hockey League for AAA. And for they're in their draft year, so he's ranked up there in this draft. So Friday evening, that's happening, and all the best of luck.
Is he not playing in a special game too coming up, like Team Or or something? Like
So
prospect game?
They had the prospect game, and out of those 40 kids, so they take 20 and 20. Basically, there might be another one coming up. These kids have games all the time, but that prospect game was I think it was red versus black, or blue versus red, or I can't remember the colors of the team, but he was on that team. And last year, 38 of those 40 kids got drafted that were in that prospect. Cohen on D, like, this kid is smooth, like he just is. And then they just had the OHL. I can't remember what the camp. This like a camp kind of thing where they do all of the
combine.
Combine is what it is, right? So that was this week. He fared really well in that, and because of that, he's ranked way up there. So hopefully he'll go in. He'll go in the top number of picks. So good for him. We're excited for that. That's coming up this weekend, and another thing that's coming up that I'm getting super stoked for is turkey season. So I'm working with Cape Croker. So I'm going to go down. We're going to do a little bit of promo for them. I'm actually going to stay. They've got a park down there that they've been doing a lot of work at. I'm actually going to bring my RV down and do some promo with them and one of their local hunters, Travis Jones and Trayton Jones, good friends of mine and friends of the show. Actually, Blake, their dad, when I first started turkey hunting, Blake took us out. Blake's like just a character. So we hunted in Cape. So I'm going to go down there, do some promo with them. Their park manager also has, they have a business through, they promote it a lot on Indigenous Tourism Ontario. It's a sugar bush. So they have a maple syrup production, company down there. So we're going to do some wild game kitchen down there, see what's going on with nice. That outfit. And at the same time, Trayton's going to take me to some of those special spots, and I am going to try and do some turkey reaping. So that's where, you try and creep up on a turkey with a fan in front of you and get like really, really close up on these birds and see if I can't take a bird through that. So
what are you gonna do? Have the gun under your armpit?
So you actually mount the way that I have one of the things is that it's on a fan and a stake in front of you. So you just walk towards the bird, or you crouch and walk with that fan in front of you. And then once you're really, really close, you just you put that in the ground, and then you have the gun, right? Okay. The other one is that if you've got a turkey fan like that, you cut out the middle feathers and you put that on your bow, on the front of on your stabilizer. So you've got that turkey fan.
So you're shooting prone?
You're shooting from the ground. You're coming through to that turkey. You've got your GoPro here and GoPro on the bow, And on your stabilizer, you've got that fan fanned out. So you're looking at the butt end of it, and the turkey's looking at the front.
Yeah.
Right? And so it looks like, to a turkey that there's another tom coming, right? And they come right at that. So when they're close enough, like 5 yards, you pull back, right? And you shoot because you have a little window there. That's all you see. So we want to video that from behind and then have the close-up of that up front. So, I mean...
That'd be cool.
I'm going to try. That's my goal this year is to get a turkey through reaping, it's called. And then also we've got a number of first timers that, I want people to come down and you know what I mean, and fill the program. Turkey hunting is one of those things, and I really hope that we get on the podcast Turkey Doc, is a guy I follow on Instagram. Just a real cool story. This guy's an expert in terms of turkey hunting and calling and just everything turkey. There's a lot of story. I'll save that for a different time about this guy and his family. But he said I'll come on the podcast, right? And I'd love to have him on and just pick his brain on all of these things that I don't know about turkey hunting, because it's such an exciting thing to do versus an exciting thing to watch. It is exciting when you're watching it, if you know what it's about and if you've done it, it's more exciting, obviously. But because the birds kind of look the same all the time, right? You want to have lots of action in there. And you know that from turkey hunting, that it's, it's go, right? It's a 12-hour hunt every day. And, sometimes the birds cooperate and it's easy, and sometimes they're, little bastards and they don't cooperate. Yeah. But you're communicating with those birds and, trying to trick them. Right. So, I'm really looking forward to that. We have a couple weeks left, to prep for that. I'm working on a turkey fan, from last year, using one of the ones we got, and, see if I can't put together something that, will fool a turkey, right? Which is, you got turkeys chasing turkeys kind of thing. But they're great eating birds. We'll bring that whole thing back. The school will use it, in their soup program. Diane and John Balf cook them up, and it's just this whole,
and then the kids gobble them up.
The kids gobble it down. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. I talked to Rick today, so we locked in the dates of the bear trip.
Oh, perfect. What are we doing?
Yeah, that's June 2nd. So that first week of June.
The week
that we had
figured?
Planned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So we locked that in, and like I said, we've talked about that lots on the show. We look forward to that bear hit. The
hunt. Second is what, Tuesday?
The second is, I think it's a
Sunday.
Sunday. So we'll probably. I have to figure out. I do have to go up north for work, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do at the end of that week.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to be in Saskatchewan right now for some consulting. I had to push that because the river's breaking up there. Yeah. So they're in their evacuation mode. So that trip got delayed. So I'm going up there that next week in June, after our bear hunt. So, I just got to figure out the details there, but it's busy. The RV park, man, it's just trying to get this thing done and get, units in there, and so much work to do.
So are you going to be Jim Leahy, or did you find somebody to be?
No, I found a Jim Leahy.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. We have a park manager. He's actually a pro staff too. You've seen him on the show, Greg Cottenham, phenomenal fisherman. He's actually doing his captain's course right now. So he's gonna captain one of the boats, take people out on charters as well, for us.
Nice.
So he's doing that. Like he's a master angler. He's fished these waters for as long as I've been alive, and he's really, really good at it. So he's going to jump in a boat when he's not running the park. Sweet. and put people on fish. And speaking of that, all the ice is out. The frogs are chirping, right?
The peepers are peeping, baby.
You know what that means, right? Smelts are running.
You can smell it.
Yeah. So smelts are running. We're gonna hit that up this weekend.
Yeah.
That's always fun. It's a good scoff of food. We'll hopefully get a bucket full and maybe salt some of them up for some some bait as well.
Yeah.
Rainbows are hitting. So I got the sea swirl out yesterday. It's being detailed. So shout out to Travis Beyer and his detailing business here on Manitoulin.
Yeah.
He's getting that boat ready for business, and we're getting ready for the charter season. Summer is here, man. 6 weeks early.
Rainbows are coming in now.
Yeah. This is it. Like, it's on. I need to wrap up some of this work that's keeping me in the office. Get all of these tasks of wood cutting and all this other crap done so we can get back out there and enjoy the day.
Summer mode.
Yeah, it's summer mode.
I know what you mean. It kind of snuck up on me, even though it felt like such a mild winter. Like knowing, summer's probably right around the corner.
Yeah.
And now it's not summertime, but like the nice weather outside work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our lawn is done. It's April 8th or 9th or whatever it is. Like, our lawn here, it's never been done at this stage. We're talking end of June, right? The volleyball court needs to be tilled. That's it. We can play beach.
Oh, yeah?
Like, that's how ready we are here. The sauna's fired up, the hot tub. Like, we're in that mode really, really early.
Nice.
So, that's exciting. Get out on the paddleboard, start catching some fish in the next little bit.
Yeah, we still got to figure out that paddleboard for pike trip.
Paddleboard for pike is on the bucket list for this summer.
Get a t-shirt made.
Maybe I'll wait till the water's a little warmer. Like, that water's cold as it is. You don't want to go out too early, because if you do fall in, you got minutes before I have a heart attack. But you know what? You're different. You don't mind cold water. I'm a puss in that regard. I don't want to be. I want to beat that demon.
Yeah.
But damn, I just can't get into cold water.
Yeah.
But it's everyone's got to have a goal.
You can start acclimating tonight after sauna.
Yeah, even standing in it, dude. It's like, even to my ankles. I won't get into it. But yeah, no, that's something that we're excited for. And you, Rosebud Thorn, what's going on with you?
Rosebud Thorn. Oh, that snuck up on me. My rose 100% was that trip with Chucky.
Yeah.
Vegas, man. It's spending time with the old man. I don't think I'll ever get a chance to go to Vegas with him again. So, I mean, such a blessing to do that. Definitely some bonding time with him for sure. My bud, I'm looking forward to the new fishing season. Rainbow, smelt, pike, like the opportunities for the new fish is ahead of us. And I'm super optimistic for that. And then I'll throw in a Masters pick there. I think... that's coming up this weekend. I think we're going to see Xander Schauffele take it home.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my pick.
Okay.
Yeah. You can give me a pat on the back next week.
All right.
And
Are
then,
you putting any money on that bet?
Yes, not with you.
Okay.
Unless you give me 12-1 odds too, like FanDuel. And then my thorn has just been my body trying to acclimate back to routine.
That's your own fault, though, dude.
I know.
That's your own fault.
It's a thorn. I've been.
Yeah.
No. Again, first world problems. Not
First
complaining.
world problems. No, that's good. I'm glad you guys had a good week. You're back safe and sound. That's always important. And you know what? The weather's great. And as usual, we're going to be at it. We're going to be fueling our passion. We're going to be fueling the fire.
You're not getting away from it that easy. You still got to finish your bud roast, Thorn. You just said you were...
Well, I mean, I kind of did. Okay, I will. So, I honestly... This is getting to be a broken record. I'm battling time, right? In terms of, like, how I share it.
Yeah, you're pretty old.
Well, there's that, like, father time, right? But this time allotment piece, right? I need to either hire people, right? More people, or
lower your standard of living.
Lower my standard of living. One or the other. So there's that. That's the only thorn. Like, that's the only thorn I have, right? Is just and all of the time I have, it's because it's all fun, right? I'm loving retirement. You know, I'm loving every day. So you get to choose what you want to do, when you want to do it, how hard you want to work at it. I just, there's nothing I can say. It's a pretty privileged thorn to have.
Yeah.
And looking forward to, I just look forward to the change of the seasons, right? And it's every season I look forward to, where we're making that turn now, right? There was that little bit of intermission. I know Diane always says there's no intermission. There's never. It's always one thing or another, but there is, in terms of harvesting, that's coming up again in terms of the hunt, right? Bear, turkey, that kind of thing. So I'm really, really excited about that. And Rose, man, I'm grateful for the people around me. Like I just am. Yeah. I'm loving all of who's close and keeping that circle tight. You do get to choose those people, right? Yeah. And when you make a conscious effort to be around people that are like-minded and forward thinking and positive and fun to be around, it's contagious.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm really happy for that. And that's coming to now where I get to do that. I get to do that with all these people outdoors again. So yeah, we'll be fueling that passion.
I'll take that.
All right. Okay. We'll see you next week.
All right, man. See ya.